Good morning everybody, welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video right here this Sunday morning, which overnight we got some pretty bad news. So I wanted to touch upon that in this video, and I'll probably touch upon that in all my videos this morning because it's very relevant, not only for humanity, which this might not be the channel and this might not be the moment for me to speak about that. But it is very important for the markets as well, right? And that's something I specialize in. So let's focus on that, right? But obviously, real human lives are affected overnight, but they have been over the last couple of weeks and basically every week, of course. But still, so you know, try to know that as well. But all right, let's get to the markets. So what we saw overnight was U.S. involvement in Iran. And what that has caused is a drop right here. Yesterday was already bearish. I mean, it felt a little bit like there potentially were some insiders or that certain things were becoming known already. But ultimately, we got a spike into that level right here at 101,000. Now, I would say the general reaction, the first reaction by Bitcoin was actually quite good. A relatively lower volume spike compared to Friday, which also opens up the way for some sort of a 3 drive pattern down a little bit lower. And ultimately, we are still on the higher time frames holding our main support level. And our main support level, in my opinion, that we really do need to hold on the higher time frames to stay in some sort of an uptrend and some sort of a consolidation up here. Consolidation more so, because uptrend we have already lost, and I don't think over the course of the summer we will be able to get an uptrend. But what we do know is that most summers we actually do have stability. We have a consolidation, and that is what we're trying to keep here. And for that, here on the short term, I do think we need to hold that level at 100,000. I mean, ultimately, a little bit later, we can start to deviate below the daily trend, and that is also something we did over the course of 2024. As you can see right here, that's not the end of the world. But for now, holding that level, I think is pretty crucial. So that's also going to be the main question today. And ultimately, the market at this point in time is very much a fundamentals market. So we'll obviously take a look at the technicals, and we'll talk about what the technicals are telling us right now. But you should keep in mind that the fundamentals will dictate what's going to happen. And the fundamentals at this point in time is mostly what will Iran do after this bombing by the United States? And will we see escalation, or can we finally see de-escalation? Now, I'm trying to keep my eyes on the news as well. I cannot do that, obviously, when I'm making these videos. So maybe I already missed something when I upload these videos, but that is something you have to keep in mind as well. So far, I thought the initial reaction was good, but you can see right now with Bitcoin, the follow-up, in my opinion, was not good. Not only have we respected the value area low right here of this entire balance we've had since the beginning of May, we would really like to see that we reclaim a level like that, right? And that is not something we have done. But outside of that, what we also need to do after a very wide opening today is we want to get back into the balance that we had yesterday, right? So then we're talking about this level right here at 102,600, which also aligns with that value area low. We need to break above that we have. But now I would argue we also need to stay on top of that. And at this point in time, it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to do that. So then you have an attempt by the price to get back into yesterday's value. So basically to get some recovery, to get some stability, and then failure to hold that, which would be pretty major, right? So over the course of today, purely technically, the main thing you're going to have to watch is 102,500, 102,600. Can we reclaim that? Well, then great, all right? And then we actually have some imbalances here towards 103.6, and we can get some further recovery. But as it stands right now, and because of the uncertainty of the fundamentals, I think it's best for me, and I think it's most responsible for me to say that it's a little bit more likely that we're still going to get another drive down, hopefully with less volume, to get a real 3 drive pattern into this level at 100,000, maybe a little bit lower, and then from there we'll be able to get a bounce and bounce back a little bit higher. Ultimately, what you do need to know as well is that usually when there's maximum fear, that indicates a bottom, right? So we've seen that in the last year August, but also in April this year, but also February, and then some other headlines earlier this year. That usually is the truth. So I think that's what you need to know regarding Bitcoin for now. If you do have any questions, anything, let me know down in the comments, of course. But for now, stay safe in the markets, but also in the world. And I'll see you all in my next videos. Bye.